You can meet Susie.
Yeah.
It was Susie.
Probably done. Okay, we're getting started. Hope you answered. We're gonna go over it right now. Okay. So I want to know, is 1, 2 a solution? So since we're taking notes, remember, follow along. These are going to be worth a notebook checkpoints, which I will actually do. I forgot to do it last chapter, but we're going to do it this one. A lot, and then I was lazy. Okay, so I want to know if 1, 2 is a solution of y equals 3x minus 1. But make sure you guys have YouTube turned off, headphones out. Richie, Keith, headphones.
Mine are there.
Oh yeah, totally just this white cord thing, right? Close, Keith, but not quite. How about the other one too? Not right here, but. Good, there you go. Okay, how about you, Richie? How about the left ear? Or right ear, I mean. Left. Yeah, take that right one out.
Yeah, Richie.
Yeah, those headphones up. Okay. Alright, so. I always assume you have them. So, in order to find out if 1, 2 is a solution, I'm going to plug 1 in for my x right here. And then I'm going to solve it. If I get 2, I know I have a solution. So I'm going to go 3 and, well, we're going to start with you. What's between the 3 and the x?
What are you doing?
The times.
Times, right?
Yeah.
You guys really?
Yeah. We're going to go 3 times 1, and then I have minus 1. And then we just need to go through and calculate this. 3 times 1 is 3, right? I still have minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. So, I wanted to get 2, right? And I ended up getting 2, so I would say yes, this is a solution. For all of you guys who listened to like one person that said no,
Richie!
you were wrong.
Richie, you...
What would I say?
Yeah, nice try,
I
guys.
ruined
You
everyone's
should probably do these on your own and not just rely on some random.
I did it good. I said no.
Alright,
I said yes.
so keep this in mind because we're gonna do something very similar to this. So, this next lesson, we are working with inequalities. We're going to work with linear inequalities. Remember, inequalities are anything with a greater than or less than, or greater than or equal to, or those kinds of things. So we did these before, way back in like chapter 2, like last October, I think. So we're going to come back to these. And they're going to be a little different this time around. We are just So they're going to be a little bit different this time around, because this time we are going to be graphing lines. We're not going to do a whole lot of lines today. Well, we're going to do some lines today, not super hard ones. Okay, so I need it quiet.
Alright, everyone shut the
Hey, okay, I want to know, is the ordered pair, remember, ordered pairs are just these parentheses. Dylan, what did you say, man? Remember, ordered pairs are just these parenthesis things. That's all an ordered pair is. And I want to know if they are a solution of y is greater than x minus 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 1, 2, and I'm going to plug it in for x and y. And then I'm going to do the math, and I'm going to see, is it true or is it false? So I have an x and then a y, right? Like this. So I'm going to plug in 1 for x, and I'm going to plug in 2 for y. So instead of y, I'm going to have 2. I have greater than. Remember, this way is greater than.
That's how it should be.
The other way is less than. No, because I got to keep an eye on it. That way if it messes up, I can stop it real quick. Okay. Okay. So I plug in 2 for y, and then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to plug in 1 for x, and then I have minus 3. And I'm going to go through and do the math on this. Jared, what's 1 minus 3?
2.
Close.
Negative 2.
Negative 2, yeah, you did it backwards. So I get 2 is greater than negative 2. Is that true? Is 2 greater than negative 2? Remember, greater than is another word for bigger. Is 2 bigger than negative 2? What do you think, Trayden? Is 2 bigger than negative 2?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. So it's true. Would you rather I pay you $2 or negative $2?
$2. Negative 2.
That means you give me 2.
Of course, Richie won't like that.
Yeah, nice try. So, this is true. Because this is true, I'm going to say yes, it's a solution. I'm going to go, yes it is. Yeah, don't just blindly listen to Richie this time. You're going to have to do it yourself.
I taught him
No
a
one listens
lesson.
to Richie anymore.
I taught him a lesson.
Richie, I'm not listening to you.
Nobody's gonna believe
Trust
you.
Alright, so I plugged in 1 for x, 2 for y, I solved it, and went through and see is it true or not.
True.
True.
God.
Okay, we're going to keep going. I know it's kind of bad sometimes. Okay, we're going to keep going. I'm going to do part B. I'm going to plug in -3 for x, -7 for y, and I'm going to see is it true, yes or no. So I'm going to have -7 instead of my y right there. I'm going to go -7. And this is going to be greater than still, and especially on inequalities, make sure you don't confuse yourself. Make sure you can tell your 7s and your greater than apart, because they look pretty similar if you're not careful. Alright, and then I have -3 -3. And I'm going to go through and do the math. I have -7. I have greater than -3 minus 3 is -6. Is -7 greater than -6?
No.
Yes.
No. No.
You think, Dylan?
No.
You think, Dylan?
Smaller than
Don't
negative.
listen.
This is false. So this is no. This is not greater than, because remember, negatives are backwards. -7 is smaller than -6. Think of it like money. Do you have more money if you pay somebody $6 or if you pay somebody $7?
No.
If you pay somebody 6, which means -6 is greater than. So because this is false, that's not true. It's false. So I'm going to say, if I can get my.
There's no L in it.
Oh.
What would you?
What are you
There you
doing
go.
now?
There's no
Messing
I
up,
in
Ryan.
true.
Okay, because this is false, I'm going to go up here to B and I'm going to say no, it's not. No, it's not a solution. So if we go through, we plug in points, and we say it's true, I say yes, yes, it is a solution. If it's false, I say no, it's not a solution. All right, it's your guys' turn. You can do the one in the box, but I think I'm going to make it a little easier so you don't have to mess around with the fraction. Instead of doing this one, I want you to do y less than or equal to 2x plus 4. So we're just going to get rid of that 3 in the fraction. Alright, so on your own, on your paper, for your first time class problem, I want you to tell me, is 3, 6 a solution of y is less than or equal to 2x plus 4? So your final answer is either going to be yes it is, or no it isn't. Hey, play phone out. I'm going to tell you again, I'm snatching them.
None's playing, bro.
I'm going to keep them out.
I don't know if you can snatch these headphones either.
What if Loki became a rapper?
Oh, won't suck.
Whoever
they are.
Well, I do.
What if you did?
Little crusty boy.
We'll see.
Alright, so on your own, you're going to tell me, is this a solution, yes or no? So plug numbers in, and at the very end, see is it true or is it false?
I can see that being his name,
Yep.
Little Crusty.
Little C plus.
Go from left to right. 6 less than 10.
He's a math teacher. He's Crusty.
Well,
Which means, what do you say? Since it's
You know
true,
what'd
right?
be funny? If
Okay.
it's
Yes,
I'll be too big.
And then you
Or
look
I guess
at
you
it back and
Or they go that far back. That's like,
This one yet? Sure.
you want me to screw up the rest like you did?
Yeah, and do the one I wrote up there.
If you're a rapper, what would your rapper name be?
Little breasty.
What the? You're just
Killer one savage dude.
that is good.
So you're going to plug in
Now you look salty.
3 for x, right? 6 for y.
The photos are for water.
One savage and x.
Don't take it out. Me too.
Don't
So
do it.
guys,
Don't do it.
Do it.
my dog
She ran away. Her name is Moo. She's a long-haired Chihuahua. She has a cherry eye. She has an ear infection. She just had puppies, and we gave them away, so she might be looking for them. So she's probably somewhere running around. But yeah, she's my dog, and I love her, and I want her back home. So
Jerry,
So are you asking your mom to keep an eye out?
yeah,
How much?
not how much.
What kind of dog is it?
Long-haired Chihuahua. She's
So you
blonde.
put in 6.
Oh, that one?
Oh, the rest? Here?
Yeah.
Yes, here.
If I
Yes,
see
here.
it, I will try to grab it. If it bites me, I won't kick it. No question about it. It bites me, I will do something back. I won't be
I remember the two
Hey man, it's your boy Keith, and this is Math .7 Radio.
Where you going?
Is that true? 6 less than 3? When you're doing that,
That's how you think.
All right, let's go over it.
I know it. Let me go over it. Let me
We're
write it.
gonna do it as a class, Richie.
No.
Is this the right paper?
Before you.
Oh yeah. Never mind.
We'll just scratch that one
Was
piece.
it recording when she made her announcement?
Yeah, it was a little weird, but I guess all the people on YouTube can help.
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta go through and replace numbers in here. Richie, after I replace numbers, what's it gonna look like?
It's going to look like 6.
Yep.
And then that thing.
Less than or equal to?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then 2 times 2.
Yep.
And then you do plus 4.
Yep.
Alright.
So 6 is less than or equal to 2 times 3 plus 4. Then we have to go through and start doing the math. So Kyle, 2 times 3 is? You're not Kyle. And then plus 4 is?
10.
Then plus 4 is? 10. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10. I get 6 is less than or equal to
6.
10.
10.
Dylan, is that true? Is that true?
That's 6 on
Is 6 less than 10?
True.
That's true, right?
True.
So I'm going to say true. And because it's true, it is a solution. So I'll let you answer either way. You can either believe your answer is true, or you could say yes it is.
Where did the 3 come from?
Because we replaced x right here with this x.
Oh, so that's X and the 6 was Y?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, Richard. After lesson. You got a question, Alex, or are we just joking?
Lesson is way too long.
Okay. Alright. So we're also going to do a little bit of graphing in this lesson. Not a lot, but a little bit.
What's up with that?
It's fun stuff. Okay. So we are going to start graphing some inequalities. So we're going to graph x is greater than -1. Now, this graph because this just has a single x, it's kind of special. Whenever you have an x equals, an x is greater than, or anytime it's just an x and you're asked to graph it, it is always going to be an up and down line. X is always an up and down line when it's just x. If you have two things, like if you had, just as a random example, if you had like y equals 2x like this, because you have an x and a y, it's not going to be just up and down, it's going to be slanted somehow. But if it's ever only an x, it's going to be up and down. And I put this line when x is -1. So I have my x-axis right here. That's my x-axis, right? So I'm going to go here on my x-axis, and I'm going to put a line at -1 like this. Okay, so we just graphed when x is -1. It's always going to be up and down. And the reason it's up and down, I always want x to be -1. If I make my line go over here, x is -2 now, right? It's not -1 anymore. If I go over here, x is 0. It's not -1. So the reason it's up and down is because this line right here is where x is always -1. Okay, so I've got this line, but I'm not just graphing a line, I'm graphing an inequality. When we do inequalities, one side of your line is always going to be shaded. So you guys remember way back in like October when we did like the number lines and we have like a circle and we had an arrow going left or right?
Oh, right,
Remember that stuff?
right.
Yep. It's kind of the same thing, except this time, instead of having just a single arrow going left or a single arrow going right, I have to shade a side.
What was that stuff called again?
Inequalities.
What was the one where like you put two circles and connect them?
That was a compound inequalities, like an and.
What was the?
Some good memory now. Okay, so I am going to shade a side, and I have to shade the true side. I'm going to shade where x is greater than -1. Which side has numbers bigger than or greater than -1 when I look at my x?
On the right side.
Our right side, right? Because if I have like the number 1 is bigger than -1, right? So this is my true side, the side I'm going to shade. If I were to look over here on the left, if I have like -4, that's less than -1, that's not true. We always shade the true side. So I'm going to just go about like this. When you shade, it doesn't have to be like super intense. You just need a little bit of a shading to show your sides. And then we have one more thing, which I forgot to do earlier, but it's fine. We'll do it right now. You remember back when we did these inequalities? When we did them, we either had an open circle or we had a closed circle. Remember how we filled it in sometimes, or sometimes we left it open? So we have a similar kind of thing when we do inequalities like this, but it's going to be based on this line right here. Whenever there is no or equal to line, so there's just a greater than, right? There's not the extra line, like over here on B, it's got that extra line. When there's not that extra line, when I make this, I actually should have a dashed line. It should be like a little dashed line. So it should look kind of like this, which I forgot to do when I graphed it earlier. So if you're doing pin, like if you did this in pin, come on. So if you did this in pin, you just like shade over so there's like little dashes, kind of like that. That's
Like
fine.
Mr. Golke. So like that's for the X. What about on the Y? Would you like shade the top and then leave the bottom?
Or the bottom, one of the two. Yep. So we're actually gonna do that next.
Alright.
That's a good question. And I actually had that written down here. Whenever it's a dashed line, whenever there's not that extra one, and it's a solid line whenever there's the or equal to parts. So because I should have told you that earlier, I'm sorry. I'm gonna switch around. So because there's no extra or equal to lines, just dashed right here. Or if you do it in pin, you could just shade over it so it looks like there's dashes, kind of like right there. Okay. We did part A. We're going to do part B. And part B is basically the same thing. It's basically the same thing. But on B, it's y is greater than or equal to 2. So x was up and down. Y is always going to be left and right. Whenever it's just a y, it's only going to be left or right. And it works basically the same way as x, except I'm doing everything with y's. So I got my y-axis here, right? I'm going to go when y is 2, because I got 2 right there. 1, 2, and I'm going to make my line go left and right on this. And because I have the or equal to, it's just going to be a solid line. No dashes in this one. Like that. Okay? And with every inequality, we need to shade a side. So, this is y is greater than 2. Which side has numbers bigger than 2? Top or bottom? When you look at it. So here's 2, right? If I go down here, this is 1. Is 1 bigger? So it's not on the true side. If I go up here, I get to 3. 3 is bigger than 2, right? So I'm going to shade my top side. And to shade, it doesn't need to be anything intense. I can just go like that. That's fine.
I kinda get it.
Bulky.
Mm-hmm.
Can
I
I take a
get it.
cherry?
Mr. Golks.
After the lesson, almost done. We're almost done.
They're not almost done.
Yeah,
I say
bro. You
that all
got
the time.
And we got
Bulky.
2 more slides. We have an in-class and then the executive.
Yeah, it takes forever.
Well, not if you
It's
hurry.
just right there, Golke.
We're almost done.
I'll give
Okay, so let's do, I want you guys to help me out with one, and then you guys will do an in class and that's it. We're gonna do this one like an in class. Or not like an in class, we're gonna do this one together.
Like an out class.
Like a,
Help me out.
It's past 11
Help me out.
a.m.
Out class.
okay. So this is a Y, and there's just a Y, right? Susie, is it gonna be up and down or left and right? You got it. It is going to be left and right when y is 3. So I'm going to go up here to 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to kind of put a line. Okay, Allison, is this going to be a solid or a dashed line? It's going to be dashed because I don't have the extra little thing right here, right? So I'm going to go dash line like this, dash line like that, and oh, I need to put arrows on the end because it's a line. And then I need to shade a side. So Keith, which side has numbers? This is less than 3, right? Which side has numbers less than 3? Up here or the bottom? Bottom one. So we're just going to go like this, shade it in, and we're going to say good enough.
That's weird.
So there's 3 pieces. Your line's either going to be up and down or left and right. It's either going to be solid or dashed.
Wait, you do the, like you shade it in wherever that line is?
It'll be like above or below it on this one. So like, we shade the side that's true. So below has numbers smaller than 3, right? So I just did a quick shade. It doesn't have to be anything like intense. It's just, you could, if you really wanted to, you could go like, you could spend like 10 minutes just shading it in. If you're one of those weird people who have to have everything like super complete.
Yeah, those weird people. Like Richie.
It doesn't matter though. You can just do a quick little shade is all.
Were you praying as Richie? As the weird people? Things like that. See what I mean?
What?
This kid always never.
Take those headphones and you're on them again. I tell you, you can't.
This kid.
Alright, I want you guys to do part B on your own. Part B. Remember, when you do these, you're basically answering 3 questions. Is it going to be up and down, or left and right? For your first question. The second one is going to be solid or dashed. And then the third one is which side to shade. Or the third one is just you're going to shade it. So you have to, I guess the shaded side. There we go. That's an actual question. So you have to answer 3 questions. Is it up and down, left and right, or left and right? Is it solid or dashed? And which is the shaded side? Is it going to be, which one of those is going to be shaded? So, those 3 questions you got to answer. And I'll give you about 2 minutes. Do it on your paper.
Answer
Then
the
we'll go
crap.
over it together. Nope. That'll give you
Go
a
now, Goki.
Almost done now. Almost. After this one.
I have to turn it in by 11.
It's already past 11.
I know, I need to give it to her.
It's half an hour past.
Okay, give it to her really quick.
But how do you know what
You said that last time.
Okay. So x is greater than 1, right? Which side is going to be bigger than 1? What number is right there?
Come on.
Okay, this side has to have 5 on it. Is 5 bigger than 1?
I could get
Easies. It's only
God.
11:28. What is this?
Good stuff. Good stuff. Alright, Alex, start us off. Is this going to be up and down or left and right? And after we answer this, then you can go. Up and down or left and right? Keith, sit down, man. Leave him alone. He doesn't need any distractions.
Alright.
Keith, hey, sit down.
what?
Come on, sit. Dylan, you sit too.
I was just writing it down, man.
Keith, come on. Your pencil's good.
Putting that pencil back before I hurt Richie.
Okay. Is it up and down, left and right, Alex?
Where?
On part B.
Before I hurt the little boy.
Careful, check your notes.
Up and down.
Up and down, right? This one is going to be up and down. When it's X, it's going to be up and down. So this one's up and down. So I'm going to go over here to 1, and it's going to be up and down. Jared, is this going to be solid or dash?
It is a solid.
Solid, right? Because it's got this extra little piece right there that makes it solid.
Oh, she is savage. She left.
All right, and then we have the shaded side. We have to pick the shaded side. So I need to figure out which side has numbers greater than 1. What side is it? Left or right?
Side.
Willem? What side? Left or right, Willem?
For greater or smaller?
For greater.
Greater.
The right side has it. So I'm just going to take a quick little... It's shaded. Yay.
Did you
That's
say?
it.
Did you say? Nay.
I said yay, but I didn't see where you do that. That's it. If you haven't yet, start on your exit ticket. I will turn on Socrative. For Socrative, you don't have to actually graph it. You just have to answer the 3 questions like I did before. You're just going to answer those 3 questions. But do it on your paper so you can answer them easy. And then I will get your homework and put it on Google Classroom. And then you guys have the rest of class to work on homework. Or if you want to finish your test off, you can do that.